Welcome, my name is Maureen Wilson. This case is Change Implementation of Response to Intervention. So, the case involves an urban elementary school. The principal has been mandated to implement Response to Intervention, or RTI, in 30 days. RTI is an intervention problem-solving model. Students move through the tiers depending on academic need. The mandate is in response to a large number of students, 30% of the student body, receiving special education services. The district is hoping to decrease the number of students referred for special education services with the implementation of RTI. I will be discussing research on change as well as research on RTI. I will also provide recommendations for the principal and evaluate those recommendations. The key issues. First and foremost, change is the most significant issue in this case. Change in the form of the implementation of response to intervention. This change is delegated due to a high number of students receiving special education services. This problem-solving model is to replace a discrepancy model currently in place, a model in which the teachers are comfortable. The principal has been given 30 days by district office to implement this problem-solving model. Additional issues that arise because of this implementation are that currently there's a plan for a 1 day of professional development. The principal has access to a diagnostics team that has recently gone to a training covering all aspects of RTI. Their supervisor is only allowing the staff to give 1 day of PD on RTI. This limited PD is a concern and an issue in this case. Another concern that has developed due to the planned implementation of RTI is that some teachers feel that their teaching expertise is being challenged. Their anxieties and emotions are an issue. The lack of PD and teacher anxiety directly impacts the teaching and learning within the school and therefore affects the students. Another area of concern by parents is the limited communication from the school on their child's academic process. Stakeholders in this case and their perspectives. Stakeholders are teachers, parents, and students. Some of the general education teachers are reluctant to transition to these new instructional practices. They feel their teaching competences is not valued. Parents are also stakeholders. They value education and care about academic success for their children, which they are unsure is happening currently. Students are stakeholders in this case because ultimately delivery of educational services is an essential element in education. Students in this school are considered over-identified for special education services. Therefore, student needs are not being met. Connections to theoretical and empirical research. Change. First, let's look at resistance. Change, according to Evans, threatens people's sense of competence, causing frustration and feelings of ineffectiveness. This concept is relevant in this case since some of the teachers feel that their expertise is being invalidated. These feelings of invalidation may result in resistance to the implementation of RTI. Resistance often occurs when change is imposed upon individuals from an external source, which is the case here. Central office is mandating the change. Models and phases. Lewin has 3 phases of change: unfreezing, movement, and refreezing. Gladwell also describes phases of change similar to Lewin's phases that include a pre-launch, launch, and post-launch. Evans suggests that change is not likely to succeed unless individuals within an organization have clarity and focus as to the what, why, and how changes will take place. The bottom line is there is a process. There are phases an organization can use to navigate through a successful change. The concerns-based model, or CBAM, focuses on school settings. CBAM includes tools that can be used to diagnose individuals' feelings regarding change. The CBAM model allows for contemplation of the processes and tasks required for successful change. Leadership styles. Stan and Moore notes that school leaders need to build trust with all constituents, including staff, parents, and students. Tushman and O'Reilly explain that leaders need to trust their teachers to meet the demands and high expectations placed upon them. Leaders that build trusting relationships are able to delegate tasks and create a high trust culture, which leads to easier implementation and suspension of changes. Transformational leaders described by Bass and Lynch consist of charismatic, inspirational, intellectual, and considerate leaders that have excellent communication skills and encourage others. Distributed leaders empower staff members and create leadership systems that would continue even after the leader is no longer with the organization. Analysis and evaluation. Weiner and Sudak note that RTI was established to promote student achievement and reduce the need of students receiving special education services. Kramer explains that RTI includes early intervention strategies and assessments for struggling students. RTI is multi-tiered, with interventions being more intense as students move among the tiers as instructional needs increase. In order to determine whether or not interventions are indeed working, students are progress monitored on a regular basis. Research by O'Connor and Freeman and Weiner and Sudak concur that training team members is integral for an RTI program to be successful, including ongoing professional development. O'Connor and Freeman suggest the use of coaches for ongoing training and support. These coaches are similar to the diagnostic team that has been trained in RTI in this case. The research suggests that the essential element in success in RTI is ongoing PD. The plan in this case contradicts these research findings, since the plan currently in place is for 1 day of PD. Leadership is a key element in driving successful change in organizations. O'Connor and Freeman stress that in order for RTI to be successful, district-level structures and supports are imperative. District level provides supplies, support, and funding. Research conducted by White, Polly, and Audit found that principals play a critical role in the success of RTI. Their study found that the enthusiasm and commitment of the principal regarding RTI had a direct correlation to teacher buy-in. Collaboration among all stakeholders, including administration, teachers, staff, students, and parents, is essential for changes in programs to succeed. According to state leadership standards, school leaders collaborate with stakeholders. Recommendations for action. In order to implement successful RTI, the principal could take various steps. To begin with, the principal will recommend to the district administrators that an adjustment be made in the time given implementing RTI. An ongoing time frame, rather than the 30-day mandate, would increase the likelihood of success. The adopting of transformational and distributed leadership styles can increase success. By adopting these leadership styles, the principal will allow others within the school to feel valued and empowered and begin building trusting relationships. The creation of a school governance council will invite parents and community members to be a part of the school and in decision making. This recommendation is in direct connection to the parents' concerns of the lack of communication by the school. A leadership team will be established to apply and analyze information using the CBAM model. This use of the CBAM model will assist in the unfreezing stages of Lewin's change phases. The tools from the CBAM model will analyze teachers' feelings prior to the change process. By addressing teachers' feelings, the principal is addressing concern for staff members. This concern will assist in establishing trust between the staff and the principal. One very important aspect to the success of RTI is the professional development. The principal will immediately organize a professional development team that will consist of the trained diagnostic staff and any experts in RTI. This team will establish a calendar for ongoing PD throughout the year. The PD will be continuous and will include all aspects of RTI. These PDs will encourage and model collaborative behavior among staff. Possible consequences. Adjustment of timetable will alleviate stress caused by the quick implementation. The transformational and distributed leadership styles will create trusting relationships with open communication while empowering others. The School Governance Council is expected to alleviate concerns of parents as to the lack of communication from the school. The leadership team will alleviate anxiety of teachers by having their opinions and concerns heard. Ongoing professional development will empower teachers and drive instruction, which will improve teaching and learning, reducing the number of students referred for special education services. Possible negative outcomes: that the time adjustment recommended by the principal may not be welcomed by the district administrators that want a quick implementation. Some staff may not be receptive to these leadership styles, committees, and professional developments planned. Issues that may hinder the governance council could be too few or too many individuals wanting to be a part of the committee, also not agreeing on ways of communication. Non-members of the committee that do not have input in the decision-making may resist ideas. Teachers may not feel comfortable enough to share their concerns. This will limit data on teachers' opinions. This lack of information can impact whether the implementation and suspension of RTI is successful. The number of students referred for special education may not be reduced. So this is the case. Thank you.